All right, everybody, welcome to Cluster API Azure Office Hours for Cluster API Azure Office Hours for October 12th. My name is Jonathan, and I'll be the host today. As we get started, I'd like to welcome any new members or attendees. And if you'd like to introduce yourself and say hi, now's the time. Raise your hand or feel free to speak. All right. If there's nothing, then I guess we can get into the discussion topics. David, looks like it's about shipping 1.12 a day late. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So we have at least as linked there, the one cluster class feature that Willie has basically completed, and it's working in the main branch of Cluster API, but we obviously need that dependency in order to be able to ship with our 1.12. The 1.12 RC0 releases a day after we're planning to ship, and the beta versions should ship before then. I don't feel comfortable saying shipping our main branch with beta, but the question is, might we consider having 1.6.0 RC0 as something shipped to the main branch as one option, or having, if we're not comfortable with that, potentially having a different, like a beta or some other version of our 1.12 so that we can actually have cluster class enabled for people. Otherwise, we'll basically have to wait another 2 months in order to have cluster class being available to our users. So yeah, that's the topic of discussion.
Cool. Looks like Cecile wrote a bit async. I guess I can read that out first before I pass it up to you, Matt. All right, Cecile says we should avoid releasing a minor release of CAPZ with a pre-release of CAPI as a dependency IMO. But if we are able to merge the cluster class PR with the CAPI release candidate as a test dependency only, then that would be fine since we'd be able to backport .0 once it get released. Even a beta release of CAPI is fine. Nightly build is more tricky since it might cause our tests to break overnight. And Matt, I think I'll pass it off to you.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, my two thoughts are, I'm not sure it's possible or simple to have. I guess she's suggesting we'd still have CAPI 1.5.2 or whatever the patch is vendored into the main code, and we'd be using a different version for the tests. I'm not sure that's easy to do, but if it is, I totally agree with what she's saying. I guess where I differ is I think it would be fine actually to release in general. If we have to have it as a general dependency for the main code too, I think we'd be fine to release our release with an RC vendored in, and then follow up, in a patch release of CAPZ with the final release. I'm fine with that, but that's just my opinion. I think Cecile's a little more strict here.
Go ahead, Willie.
Yeah, so the CAPI nightly build, it's only affecting the E2E tests, because at the end of the day, you're like, I think we're only using it to run so we can run those tests against cluster class in CAPI on Prow. So as Cecile mentioned, it's just a test dependency. So I think it would be fine to, I guess, doing this a day late, and also it's pinned to a nightly build, like a specific day, so it won't like break overnight. So it's not like it's constantly fetching the newest from main. So I think I agree with Cecile that we can just merge it with the test dependency and then backport once it gets released. Yeah, John.
I was just going to mention that the whole a day late thing might not be super meaningful. I think I kind of unilaterally decided on the November 14th date for the CABZ 112 milestone, just kind of based on our regular cadence so far, but this seems like it might be worth pushing that out a day or two. If they're like it looks like we have a good reason to do that. So I think the date for the CABZ milestone is totally up for debate. Yeah, that's all I wanted to mention.
So, so if I understand right, Willie, you're saying the cluster class feature itself doesn't need the 1.6 dependency, but the end-to-end tests need the end-to-end dependency.
Yeah, so it won't break anything because what the PR adds, it's like a bunch of new types, and it only will break when you're like adding the machine pool field in the into a cluster class spec. So that's why we change it in the test. It won't like, yeah, it's only affecting the nightly build's only affecting the E2E test. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, but we still would have to update it in the mainline branch for the whole code base because of that.
Yes, it will affect all the E2E tests.
Yeah.
And the only like, I think the main the CAPI dependency in the code is still a different version. This is just a version that we pinned to for E2E inside Azure dev YAML, I think.
Okay, cool, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that because of all the delays, you know, I feel like we're going to be moving to 1.6 eventually anyway, and at RC, and then you only have to wait 2 more additional weeks to bump the RCs, but we don't want to wait, you know, till the end of November, December to release 112, because I think that would be way too long. You know, I feel like I'm kind of on the same page as Matt, where I would feel good with release a 1.60 RC0 dependency, and release, let's say 2 days late. And then, you know, once the RC the 1.60 final release a couple weeks later releases, then just do like a patch release or whatever, right? And then that way you kind of, you know, you have a small window of risk there for a little bit, but I mean, RC is supposed to be an RC, right? So that would be my vote. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, just to beat it to death and to get a clarification from Willie. So this isn't a vendor dependency. It's just the version of CAPI that we're specifying in an E2E test to pull down.
Yeah, it's only changing it within for the test, not for the vendor.
Okay, yeah, that's even more straightforward than I thought. I don't really have any qualms about releasing with that then, either way.
Okay.
I think, yeah, the general consensus is I think we can just do this because it's only pinned to the test. So yeah, I think we'll go with that. Also, I think I will just go through the PR one more time, and then I'll probably want to start looking for reviews. It's like really big, and we want to get it in within the next month. So I'll like send out a Slack message, and would appreciate a lot of people to look over it. It's a lot of lines of code, but there's a lot of it is just adding like template types on top of existing types. So yeah.
So just to be clear, what can we do with cluster class in CAPZ now without the RC0 branch, and what will we gain besides the test dependence, or besides being able to use it in our end-to-end tests? Is it just that, or is there something else?
Well, because we added like machine pool support, and we want that on our end-to-end tests, like for sure. So like we kind of need this if we want to merge the entire cluster class PR. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So this enables the machine pool cluster class feature too, or just the testing?
Yeah, it's both.
Okay, I see. And this doesn't include any like other PRs that might conflict.
No, it's just one I don't think it will conflict.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. If it's just one PR, I think that's fine. Cool. There any other thoughts? Floor is yours. Otherwise, we can move on to PSA. Cappy or CapZ 1.11.3 is out with bug fixes. Looks like there's some PRs by John, by Matt, and Johan. Would anybody like to comment or add anything to this? Cool, yeah, this seems straightforward enough. All right, Nawaz, migrating NAT gateways service to ASO. Take it away.
Hey, thanks, Jonathan. That was more or less just a PSA that we are migrating NAT gateways to ASO. There is a discussion happening on the PR. So if anyone's interested to share their thought, follow the discussion, please feel free.
Sure.
That's all.
Well,
Thank
I
you.
can give you a review if you'd like, or if it's ready for review.
Yeah, it is sort of ready for review, but also in a discussion phase. So yeah, please feel free.
Okay, cool. I'll take a look at that later then. If there are any ad hoc discussion topics, feel free to just blurt it out now, I suppose. I think we're at the end of the discussion agenda.
Yeah, I think it would be good to maybe cover some of the recent bugs that came up. Like they seem like they're pretty significant in terms of what's going on. So maybe that would be my suggestion. There's like I think 4 of them, but I would say I'd let you all pick which ones you think are most pressing.
Sure, I think makes sense. Yeah, I think I just need somebody to point it out. Matt, go ahead.
Can we do that in the context of milestone grooming and all that, or you're saying we should call them out separately, David?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be good to just kind of help with priority of the bugs. And if there's anything we need to kind of dive into more specifically on those, or we can, you know, maybe assign somebody or put it on the backlog. Because we have like 2 different bugs where they're oscillating between reconcile, running, provisioned. That seems concerning. And then we have now, it looks like unable to deploy to US government. I think those are the 3, I guess, that come to mind. I could paste them in there, I guess, if we want.
Yeah, I'd say let's add it as a part of discussion rather than
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because one, it seems like there might be a bit to talk about, and 2, that way on the agenda, so
Yeah.
you can see it easily.
Yep. I'd go ahead. Those are the two big ones.
All right, I'll start with the first then. Azure managed cluster spot. Azure managed machine pool fluctuating between running and provision state, open 2 days ago. The Azure management machine pool and Azure managed cluster with spot enabled are experiencing continuous fluctuations between the running and provision state. And this is when you deploy it with provider version 1.11.3. And here's an example of the command line logs when you experience this bug. Would you like to comment on this, David, or get us started? Or
I mean, I guess wanted to try and see if we could kind of have a rough triage of the thing and say, is this, are these two seem somewhat related? And has any, I think John may have looked into one of these two scenarios, and I don't know if we have somebody that's trying to tackle them or have a better idea what's going on, or like trying to assess priority of something we need to have somebody assigned to kind of work on right now or not.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. I thought you
I'm not debugging it. No.
oh yeah, no, I thought you had
Yeah.
some context when you volunteered the topic. Okay, I'll go ahead and let John go. I think you had your hand up first, right?
Yeah, I can take a look at both of these reconciliation things. They're pretty straightforward once you figure out what's going on. But yeah, I would need to take a look, and I don't know if this issue says exactly what's going on, but that's easy enough for me to figure out, I think, if I poke at it myself. So yeah, I can probably have a fix for this out later today. So yeah, Jonathan, if you want to assign me right
Looks like
here,
David
or
beat you to
okay,
it.
yeah, cool. Yeah, I will take a look at this.
All right, cool. Noah or Matt, you had something to say, do you?
No, we did merge a fix related to taints that might relate to the other one, but I was mostly curious to see what they have controller logs in this issue. So, but we shouldn't dig into it now. John will handle it, I'm sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll give you some time to take a crack at it then, and we can circle back if you need help. Nawaz, why don't you go ahead?
Sorry, I was context switching. Were we talking about this issue to begin with, or were we on to the taints and the nodes one?
We're still on this one.
Oh, sorry, my hand is for the next one. Nothing on this one though.
Okay, sounds good. All right, next one. CAPZ with ASO doesn't work for Azure US government. The Azure managed control plane supports the following parameter spec: Azure environment, Azure US government. Cluster create secret from cluster identity doesn't set the resource manager endpoint and other cloud specific variables. John, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, so I just cruised through the ASO docs again, and I didn't see a way for us to be able to set those things at all in ASO. So this might be an ASO gap, but I will follow up with them to confirm. Matt, go ahead.
Actually, there's not a way to do this in SDKv2 either. So this might be a more fundamental gap. We kind of had to jettison a bit of custom functionality. There is a way to set US government, but there isn't, as far as I could tell, a way to set custom resource manager endpoint. That seems crazy, so maybe I've missed something, but I've looked at this for a while, and I think so. I'll make a comment here that I think that's a related problem.
So we want to triage accepted then?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Any other?
I mean, you can assign it to me if you want, and I'll at least follow up with some related comments.
Okay, I'll go.
I'm not sure it's easy to fix, unfortunately, but hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'll assign to you for now, and then you can pass it off if
Well, yeah.
If somebody else would like to take point. All right. I guess you can Nawaz, go ahead. I think your mic is, or your audio is a bit off right now.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So for the issue 4116, I posted a PR on the chat. I'm just there's just a theory which I have in mind, trying to test it out, but I think it'd be nice to get John's or anyone else's idea. I
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
linked to the issue because I don't know if that's the right fix, but just posted it in the chat.
Yeah, no, sorry, I must have skipped this one on the meeting notes when I was going over them. Okay, well, I'll read this out real quick then. Azure managed machine pool oscillates when trying to reconcile between running unprovisioned when removing node label or taints field. Yeah, so this seems like kind of the same idea as the last one, except it's related to the node label. John, do you have something?
I was just gonna say that, yeah, this is pretty much the same, and I'll take a look at this with the other one.
Okay, do we want to merge these two issues or leave them open as separates?
They're separate issues, but I think working on them in parallel will be easy. I mean, they'll be two separate PRs.
Okay, I'll comment saying it might be related to 4112. Nawaz,
Yep, wrong show of hand.
okay, cool. Looks like that takes us to the end of the agenda. Except for might make a note on the US government one that it's assigned to Matt for now. All right, we're at the end of the discussion agenda. Would we like to go over issues, milestone, or PR triage? Anybody have any vote or preference?
I would vote for PR triage first, just for if there's any.
Oh, let's go. That link works. All right, let's do it. Would you like to start at? Do we want to just start at the top with to do
I would start with the no status.
no status? Okay, sounds good. By the way, do we need to give folks a minute to add things or update in the background? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I was saying let's just get into it. People are probably
Alright,
doing that already.
yeah. Sounds good. We'll get into that then. First one.
This one, I don't know. I opened this because they unlocked a bunch of new features and flags and stuff in the beta, but we don't necessarily want to merge it. So I think this will get closed when they have an actual release. But for now, it's showing us that at least nothing is broken in their beta releases. But I don't know that we need to change the status of this. This is probably just going to get closed.
Okay. So we'll just leave it then.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
I could put whip in the title or something. Maybe that make it better.
Yeah, or maybe leave I don't know if you can leave a note here. All right. Next, deploy AKS clusters using major and minor versions. Looks like this is a pretty fresh PR.
Looks like it just needs review.
Yes.
I just changed it.
Yeah, it seems
Oh, he created the PR. Oh, I just read the issue. Great, good for him.
cool. Okay. So needs review. Yeah, you got it. Add version pin and registry values to a Calico and Helm install with CapH. That's me actually. I just opened this yesterday and I'm fixing an issue where we forgot to include some of the registry values in the Helm chart proxy as well as the version pin. So I'm just going through and regenerating that. and making sure all the tests pass. So
It's in progress.
yeah, I'd say in progress. It should be ready for review by, I'd say, the end of the day. Seems like I just need to rebase this branch and yeah, and run all of the tests, including the optional ones. Yeah, thanks for updating the status in the background, David. All right, next, Dependabots. Bump golang.org/x/net from 0.7.0 to 0.17.0 and hack/tools. Matt, go ahead.
I think this is uncontroversial, although it's interesting that it's such a big bump, but the test failure was kind of weird. So
Yeah, looks like
I just looked at it before the meeting and I thought we shouldn't let this one go.
yeah,
Yeah,
makes
I haven't actually seen this before. Maybe you guys have.
I mean, I had that with machine pool machines, but that doesn't seem relevant to this.
Yeah.
I'll,
So I guess I was just gonna try and make an issue. I will make an issue of that particular failure, so we've recorded it. But yeah, go ahead and retest. I'm sure it's a flake.
yeah, I'd say let's probably keep retest and keep an eye on it. Do we typically just allow the Dependabots to merge on their own, assuming the test pass, or do we want to be more selective about the version bumps?
I usually at least go look at the release and see, that there's nothing that looks scary in it. But other than that, for these Go core packages, usually just accept them.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to handle the Dependabot stuff for CapH, but I can take that offline. All right. So this one, what do we think for status? Maybe.
Just needs review,
Okay.
assuming that test passes.
And this one was the one we looked at, right? And that said we were gonna leave alone.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. For the rest of them, let's take it from the top then. To do proposal, publish reference images to compute gallery. So kind of work in progress, right?
Yeah, it's still you can change it to in progress if you want, because I'm restarting it literally just now.
Okay. And just to be clear, we want to go through the rest.
I wouldn't go through the in progress. I would just go to the in review needs review one, and then we could probably skip out of here from there.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. I'll follow your lead. Okay. Use cluster cuddle move annotation on last system pool validation. Is anybody
I am assigned to this and I have not actually looked at it, so let me do that.
actually? Yeah, I might take a look at this too as well.
And take hours to review it though.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. It's very small PR. Yeah, I should have looked at this already.
Well, I guess do we have a test that covers this case? Because if this wasn't supported before, it seems like
There should be a test. Yeah.
right, yeah. So I was gonna say, if we want to manually like verify that this is working, that might actually take a bit. I'll just leave a comments. Cool, okay. So. Do we want to update anything with this or just leave it as is in the board?
The cluster cuddle move one, I think still needs review. Yeah. That's
Alright.
correct.
Migrate NAT gateways to use ASO. Nawaz. Still needs review. Looks like this is pretty recent activity on this.
Yeah, I think I already did a PSA for this, just a call out to look in and share reviews. So
Yeah,
this will be redundant. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think in the middle of reviewing this, but got sidetracked.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and give you a review as well. All right, next up, deploy AKS clusters using major and minor versions. Assigned to nobody, but reviewers are Cecile and John. This is also
Yeah, we just
yeah
we just covered this, right? So
yeah. You're
that's
right.
we don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Bit of a brain fart.
And that last one too is covered.
Yeah, that's we already went over that. Okay, wait on author or blocked. Any?
I would say, I mean, Willie, are you close to turn? Because you're not really blocked based on our discussion anymore, I don't think. And then is your PR still in whip status? Because it sounded like you were asking for review earlier.
Yeah, well, in a sense, it can't be merged. That's blocked, but I think it can be reviewed like very soon. I'll just do a self-review real quick and make sure everything's good. And then yeah, mark it as needs review.
Okay.
Cool. So do we want to go over wait on author then, David? Or
No, I don't think so.
wrap it up?
I think it's just we just got to try and make sure that the PRs are not waiting on author, and that's pretty easy to see. And I looked, so I think we're fine there.
Okay.
We could probably skip out of PR triage now.
Cool. Okay. I guess that takes us to the end of our agenda, unless there's anything else anybody like to go over. Going once, going twice. All right, well, this has been Cluster API Azure Office Hours for October 12th. Thanks everybody for coming and participating. And we'll give you back 20 minutes or so. All right, take care, everybody.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks, Jonathan.
All right, bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.